Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. This is a daily for Bitcoin, and today we're gonna start with a bullish scenario for the daily, and that because of course we saw higher prices lately, which is getting closer and closer for our ultimate bullish scenario here, which is very interesting, of course, to take a look at it. And of course, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a potentially wave 5 is still unfolding toward the upside, where you might have a wave 1, 2 here, another 1, 2, and another 1, 2 again, and then 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 toward the upside. I'm gonna explain, of course, these 1, 2s there. So exactly inside this area, you have finished here a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5 for finished first wave 1, and then wave 2. Now, after this, of course, we see kind of like an impulse toward the upside as well. But yeah, it's very, very question mark, this impulse, especially with those sideways, where we see, of course, exhaustion at the same time. However, if this is going to be our impulse, it can be internally, of course, a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, for a wave 3, 4, and a 5 again. To finish, of course, a wave 1, followed by a wave 2 over there in 3 waves, and then you have another 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 for another wave 1 as an A, B, C. Now, a question mark also here is in case that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this has turned as 3 waves, actually, not really an impulse, but yeah, we have to take it with a grain of salt here. In case, of course, this is a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, and you have an expanding flat here, which is a perfect expanding flat, A, B, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a wave C, hitting exactly the 0.618, 0.786 for a wave 2 in a 1, 2 here, and then we're looking, of course, for something for higher, which is showing up somehow after a rejection there. We see, of course, a move towards the upside. Now, is this move a healthy move as an impulse upwards? So we're gonna, of course, check this in the lower time frame, of course, where we still have to, of course, consider the bearish scenario where you have topped here for Bitcoin as all-time high, and you are in 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5 towards the downside. Therefore, we still need to test this area, and we need to break it up, of course, and to confirm for higher here that we are in a very, very bullish scenario, that it is a new bull run around the 200K for Bitcoin. So these are the possibilities. Now, there is potentially even another possibility that it might still be unfolding, which is the ending diagonal. Also, I would like to bring this this option here to the table, which is very likely as well that it can be, of course, where we might have a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5, that your wave 5 might still unfold towards the 150K, 160K. So this can be also a possibility. However, what I don't like in it, of course, that you have an expanding flat here as a wave 4, which is normally not really allowed, of course, in a diagonal. In diagonal, you can have complex structure, but very, very very low possibility to have an expanding flat as a wave 4 in a diagonal. Yeah, so it should be zigzag. Normally, both they should be zigzag, but one of them is allowed to be complex. Now, if this is a complex structure, that is good, but this is not a zigzag. This is a problem. So, yeah, so that is a question mark. However, we're gonna, of course, keep it as a possibility here in case we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 unfolding for a wave 5, 0.618, 0.786. Okay, so if this is the case here, that we are still looking for a wave 5, so it can be the possibility. You would like to see here also kind of like an impulse, because this can be also impulses like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as diagonal, which is allowed to be, and you might get, of course, another impulse or diagonal there. So I'm looking for something impulsive towards, of course, the 160, 150K for Bitcoin in this case, in two bullish scenarios here. Yeah, so if we are not ultimate, of course, bullish. If we break it, of course, if we break it and we take the 180K here, then definitely we are looking for something as ultimate bullish, which is, of course, the 256K, which it is, of course, in 1 2 1 2 1 2, wave 3 4 and a 5 4 and a 5, continuation toward the upside. So this is the ultimate bullish scenario. Now for the bearish scenarios, of course, for the bearish, we have also the expanding flat as an A, B, and a C. We are looking here very also likely that you have topped for a wave 1 over there, and you have a wave 2 here. And you are looking here at a W, X, and a Y, especially that, as I mentioned, this is hard to take it as an impulse. It looks like a double zigzag, right, with an X in between, which it might be also again your W, and then you have an ABC for an X. And as I mentioned, this might be even here 3 ways because of the 1 2 3 4 5 here, an A, B, and a C, 3 ways. You have 3 ways down and 3 ways up, even another complex structure, which is of course formation of W, X, and a Y here, and it might has stopped there, and of course that we are looking for 1 2 3 4 and a 5. Now in this expanding flat wave C, we are looking for a wave C around the 1.618, 70k almost or around it, and we are looking also at the same time for a confluence here for a very strong hold area as a support, and of course at the same time we have the 0.38 or 0.5 even the fib level, which are exactly what you would like to see in a wave 2. And in this case, of course, wave 2 might unfold a wave 3, which it might be very massive and explosive and very fast, by the way, towards the 200k and above it, of course, as a new bull run, where we might have, of course, a wave 1, ABC for a wave 2, and we move, of course, for a wave 3 towards 200k and above it. Yep, so these are the main possibilities for Bitcoin right now. If we go to the 2-hour chart to see, of course, what's going on. So as I mentioned, for the bullish, to give it higher possibility here, that we're moving for higher, we need to break this testing area. This testing area is, of course, testing the wave 2 in case we are bearish. Meaning, if we are bearish, you might get to this area, which is also in confluence with the 1-to-1 fib level taken from the W, the X, and a Y, or the A, B, and a C here, and you might move toward the downside. Now, in case that we are in a wave C, you would like to see this 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finished over there. Exactly. You still need one more wave 5 to be unfolding, of course, for higher prices here, where you have hit for a wave 4 exactly 0.38 fib level taken from the 2 to the 3 here. We're looking for a wave 5 to hit inside exactly this area, which might be very precise here to finish up, of course, a wave C or a wave, the wave 5 of wave C or a wave 2 there. And if you are in a W, X, and a Y, that means, of course, you're done. You're finished here in a W, X, and a wave Y. So this has to unfold something for lower in case we are in a W, X, and a Y. And that means, of course, right now, if we see a retracement and if we see the invalidation of bearish, because, of course, you are in a zigzag here, this is internally an impulse here on the 1-hour chart. And you might be, of course, in a 1, A, B, C, wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, if the wave 4 interfere with the zone 1, which is exactly there, so we are, of course, invalidating the impulse, meaning, of course, turning corrective and, of course, looking for a wave 5 toward the upside, 114k. 788 would be a confirmation, of course, that we're moving for higher here, and we're looking for the 117k. In this case scenario as well, of course, in case that the price don't take this 114k, which is invalidation of bearish, that means, of course, we can continue bearish here, which it might unfold even a potential 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, wave 2, wave 3, and continuation toward the downside. Meaning, invalidation of bullish, where you have a 1, 2 here as a leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ABC for a wave 2, and we're looking here for the impulse wave 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The wave 4 is not allowed, of course, to move towards the invalidation of bullish. 111k 500. So once we get there, okay, there is nothing bullish. We have topped as WXNY in this case scenario, and we drop down, of course, for lower prices. Currently, highest possibility is of course moving toward the upside, taking the invalidation of bearish and taking the 117k. We're gonna take it from there. We have to watch the reaction, of course, of the price over there, and we'll see, of course, what's gonna happen. If the things start to show up weakness, which it might be impulsive, and we drop down, so that is, of course, something as a wave 2 has stopped there. If the price continue toward the upside very strongly and we see something really strong moving higher here, and especially if we see kind of like an impulse wave 5 moving really high, that means of course this might be 1, 2 and wave 3, 4 and a 5 unfolding toward the upside. Yep, so these are the possibilities right now for Bitcoin. Let's watch and see what's gonna happen today. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.